What's up everybody, my name is Dwight and welcome back to GeForce Garage. Today we brought in Kurt Schuff, who won the mod competition at PDXLAN fall of 2018 with his amazing Ghostbusters themed PC, which he just so happened to bring in today. Well, welcome Kurt. Finally got you on GeForce Garage.
Yes, finally.
And what did you bring us today?
I brought my Ghostbusters mod.
Nice. What was your actual inspiration to do this?
So I started with the white View 27 case that Thermaltake made, and it was sitting on my desk, and I thought what would look good on white, and for some reason the Ghostbusters logo came to mind, and that kind of just sent me down the path of how many Ghostbuster things could I get in my case.
Well, it seems like you were able to put a lot of Ghostbuster stuff in your case. What mods did you actually do?
If we start from the front, I found reference imagery of the original Ghostbusters firehouse. And from there on the computer, I traced and drew and 3D modeled all of the components of the front panel myself. And then I used those to 3D print the entire front panel to scale with the case. I had to move the front panel connectors for the USB and audio. They used to be at the top. I moved them down to the bottom. They're actually now inside the little doors that you can open and plug your headphones in. And the Ghostbuster sign is also the power LED.
Nice. Now, has that ruined the airflow in the front of the case at all?
No. As I was designing all the brickwork and the windows and things like that, I actually took the airflow into consideration and cut vents into the underside of the bricks so that the airflow can go through the seemingly solid brick facade.
Then on the inside of the case, you have a cover that goes over the motherboard. What is that?
On the inside of the case is the Proton Pack that the Ghostbusters wear to capture the ghosts. I made it piece by piece to fit over the existing motherboard components, and it was carefully designed so that you could still see the motherboard below, but you also see all of the parts that make it look like a Proton Pack. One of the parts that I enjoyed the most was being able to use the hard tubing to the reservoir as the barrel of the thrower.
Ah, okay. And then you actually have a ghost trap on the front.
Yes. As I was building it, the GPU covered up the Proton Pack and I couldn't see it. The logical solution for that for me was to flip it out, but having a GPU hanging out in the middle of nowhere didn't make any sense. So I thought, okay, the ghost trap is an obvious part of the Ghostbusters theme. I can build that over this GPU and then run all the water cooling in underneath and away you go.
And it's actually functional. Well,
yes.
Functional to the extent that a ghost trap can be functional.
It's all tied to 2 servos and some LEDs and a microcontroller. In the front of the case, there's a small LCD, or I have a picture of Slimer currently. If you tap that, it will actually open up the ghost trap doors. You can see the GPU in there and the lights flash, and then it closes back up and goes through the rest of the capture process.
And you have a couple of other stuff on here as well. Why don't you explain what's going on here on the back of the case?
As I was putting the water cooling components in, I dropped them down into the lower half of the case, which ate up all of the room I had for my platter storage. So I cut a giant hole out of the back of the case and built the ghost containment unit out because where better to store my files than where you would store your ghosts. The door on the back containment case opens with the original handle just like you'd see in the movie and slides down, and the spot where you would put the ghost trap to unload your ghost is where my hard drives are sitting. There's also the 3 LEDs on the back which glow red, yellow, and green, and those are tied to the ghost trap so that when that animation is done, the light is green, the trap is clean.
And you also have this lever on the back as well.
Yes, in the movie they actually use this lever to shut off the ghost containment unit, and I thought what better to be the power switch for my entire computer than the same lever.
Functional. So what are the actual specs of the PC?
In the ghost trap, I've got the GeForce GTX 1080. Under the Proton Pack, I have the motherboard, which is an ASUS X299, and it's running an Intel i9 7980XE. And having all 36 of those cores rendering the parts as I was building them was a lifesaver. I also have 32 gigs of G.SKILL RAM, and the water cooling is all Thermaltake from the radiator to the pump to the CPU block and the GPU block.
Wow, this thing is absolutely a capable machine.
Yes.
Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, can't wait to see what mods will come out of PDXLAN Spring later this month. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. We'll see you for the next one.